All right. So now it is that your girl's recording. Let's go ahead. Let's jump into this next damn video, shall we? Now, Tommy, shout outs to you. The Gen Z gender split. Oh no, here we are. We're gonna be talking about a whole bunch of $200 dates again. So without further ado, let's go ahead. Let's get into this video.
The dream life. Meeting the love of your life in a random interaction, getting married and producing specimen that waste your life for 18 years, seeing them grow up and eventually replicating what you have. This is the dream life for lots of people around the world. And you watching this, who do you have? You're lying there all lonely in your dim room with no one to share the time with. Put those grippers away. I can see they haven't been trimmed in a month. You haven't found someone while someone else is already setting up their dream life as we speak. And if this is you, no worries, because you'll fit in right in with 99% of Gen Z. I think Gen Z by far.
Hey, listen, I'm not Gen Z. I'm a millennial, so you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Hey, listen, for all y'all that's Gen Z that's worried about like, oh, I gotta go ahead and like get a partner and stuff like that. I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about it at all. I'm not worried about that shit too for the life of me. You know what I'm worried about? Graduating college. You know what I'm saying? Getting this money. You know what I mean? The right person comes around, the right person comes around. But I'm more so trying to like, get my own shit together. You know what I mean? But I know there's some people that are way younger than me that are like, oh, I need to go ahead. I need to get married by 25 and I need to have a white picket fence and this, and this. Who told y'all need to have these things within y'all early 20s? Live life, bro.
Far has the biggest gender split we've ever seen. Down from the way each gender thinks, feels about issues, approaches their problems. And there's a couple reasons why I think this is happening, and I'll first start off with echo chambers defined by Google is an environment or ecosystem in which participants encounter beliefs that amplify their pre-existing beliefs. And social media has been the worst proponent to this. Nowadays, I would say 3 out of 5 people are stuck in some type of echo chamber online. It's so easy to get swallowed up in it when the algorithm keeps feeding you stuff for it. And I don't even blame them. It's human nature to fall in line with it. We're communicative baboons at the end of the day that need communities. So obviously for the men's side, you got the rabbit hole of Andrew Tate and Fresh and Fit and all of them, seeing stories about how
I just said it is like, this whole Fresh and Fit podcast. Just because it is you got a mic and you know what I'm saying, like a setup or whatnot, doesn't mean it is you need a podcast, bro.
A woman divorced the dude and took all his money and then falsely accused him of something while he gets life in prison. And while she gets pounded every day in the house he used to own by some other dude. And then for the women's side, you got the rabbit hole of all those girly influencers telling them they're perfect. There's absolutely nothing wrong with them, and the only man you should ever consider is if he immediately kneels to his knees and gives you 100,000 on the spot. These type of stories make anybody mad.
There's men giving out 100,000 on the spot? Where the fuck was I at? What? 100,000? 100,000? Shit. Give me a smooth 20, not even 20, like give me a smooth 25. Shit. What? There's people doing this? There's people giving this level of money out? There is? I'm doing something wrong, clearly.
And then the replies are always gonna be like, this is why you can't trust insert appropriate gender. Everybody, man or woman, knows one person personally down one of these rabbit holes. I just be feeling so disappointed when my friends go down one of these. If it gets to the point where these stories are personally affecting the way you navigate life, you need to go touch some grass. Like my you're not gonna find some gold digger who's ready to sabotage your life. You work the 12 p.m. shift at Target. And you ladies aren't gonna find your Timothy Chalamet who's gonna run into the perfect time in your life and buy you everything you've ever wanted. Like, these are only 1% of scenarios for real. The problem is a lot of people can't really find a way to balance these echo chambers. Since social media is basically my job and I see these things all the time, I already know half these don't even exist in the real world. I'm not gonna run into some Andrew Tate ass casually in Walmart, and I'm not gonna run into a all men ass girl in the middle of the mall. But on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, or any platform, you're gonna run into 10 about every hour. I knew our generation was absolutely cooked when people started having gender arguments online. Should a man pay for dinner every time? Should a woman be doing all the house chores? Gay son or thought daughter?
Listen, I've had my Twitter since 2011, bro. I done seen all different types of things. I've been on Twitter back when Twitter jail was a thing, okay? You know, where you can go ahead and quote tweets and you can change there's somebody's entire tweet. I've been on Twitter, now known as X, for a very long time. Okay, let me tell you something. I've been on here. I'm an OG when it comes down to this. All of that stuff it is that Gen Zs are talking about, the regurgitated conversations, is exactly what it is that was talked about in the early like 2010s for us. The oh well, uh, the $200 dates. Oh, do women still do this? Do men still do this? Da, 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 da. Oh, we're alpha men and this and this. Shut up. Fuck. We have other like bigger issues that is out at hand as of right now. Like, oh my god, bro. Like, did you go eat? Did you wash your ass? Like, y'all will go ahead and have holes in y'all boxers and panties. Shit, holes in y'all sweatpants and hoodies, because I know most of y'all be going to sleep within that anyway. And y'all have the audacity to sit there and try to say to what the other person should be doing. Well, if you don't get yourself up and go throw those old clothes away, go shower, wash your ass, brush your teeth, brush your tongue, you know what I'm saying? Floss, get something to eat. I promise you, man, like when you're you don't need to be in a relationship to not be within stuff like that. But when you're just like, all right, you know what? I'm gonna do what it is that I want to do. I am hungry. I need to go eat. I need water. I am dehydrated. You know, when you start doing stuff like that and centering yourself, you don't care about the other shit that is that's going around. You really don't. Oh my god, do I hate that's why I don't like podcasts. I just don't. I do not like podcasts. There's some that are cool, but a lot of the times it's just regurgitated bullshit. It's people it is who were either picked on in school, that wasn't a choice within school or whatnot, and they think it is like at this point in time it is that they can go ahead and just tell people what it is that they should be doing with their life. Now, here's the other side of this, because this is gonna sound almost contradictory. There are some creators that do a podcast that do like leveling up the coaches and coaching and teaching and stuff like that. That is actually beneficial, especially for my people it is who do not have that level of like transparency to speak within your family, or like your family being on some like fugazi stuff and you want to change your ways or whatnot. You want to change it for you. Um, yeah, there's some like podcasts and like some like live streams it is that you can able to watch that will help your life out and be like, damn, like, you know. But to each his own with that, because there's some people that will look at fresh and fit and think it is that is upgrading their life. But who am I to sit there and say it is that it's not? At the end of the day, I don't see the benefit of it, but somebody might. You get what I'm saying?
Looks like we got the questions mixed up. Sorry about that. And I'm gonna give you the true shocking answer that no one in humanity has ever said. And that answer is, it depends on the scenario. Scientists everywhere are scrambling on this new breaking discovery, making sure to put it in our history books. Like, these arguments be so stupid because a lot of times they're taking the most basic stereotypical scenario, but more often than not, a lot of people don't have the straight down forward formula. Like, for the question, should a man pay for dinner every time, we could be talking about someone like LeBron James, who trains 24/7 and makes 1,000x what his wife makes, while she helped raise their kids from birth and made sure they're good. In that case, it's an obvious she's paying for it. Thought this was. Nah, but for real, people would even look at him weird for making her pay. But then we could be talking about two people who just graduated out of high school, freshly 18. Both of y'all are balancing a relationship with school while working at minimum wage job trying to pay off your debt. In that case, maybe it's better for y'all to split it, or someone pays one day and the other pays another. You know, because you're both not LeBron James and you'll never reach his gloriness. Nowadays, I can't even be asked to listen to these arguments. If I see one of these clips pop up on my TikTok, I swipe immediately and go on with my day. Another thing that's majorly splitting each gender up is politics. Before, no one really gave a about your political view, because who the wants to talk about politics?
That's a lie. Politics used to be very heavy, very, 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 very heavy. Not to say this is Tommy's lying, but like, hey, politics is very, very much a big thing. I've seen people lose friendships over like politics. A lot of the times, what I used to do is I used to say this: I don't get involved with politics, because in a lot of ways, it gets you down a rabbit hole to where it is you don't want to be. It's the same thing with religion, politics, you know, the $200 dates. You don't want to get too heavy within those type of conversations, because that's when people go ahead and spew especially if you come across somebody that's like the alt left, the real conservative, the real Republican, and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like that type of stuff. Back then, being a Republican didn't mean it is you was a racist. Now, anything it is within a red state, people get looked at a little weird. But you know, I try to shy away from stuff like that because it turns into such a big debate.
You know, we just trying to get it on, and now you want to bring up boring politics? My horniness is officially gone. But as the years have started to go on, politics has more and more deadass become a make or break for people's relationships.
Because it's a shit show now. Politics have gotten some. Our U.S. government is a joke. It is a joke, regardless of like what side it is that you are on. I think it's very telling to say this shit is a shit show. It's been a shit show for a long time, bro. Long time.
According to statistics, Gen Z women are more liberal and democratic, and Gen Z men are more conservative and Republican. Usually they say opposites attract, but this is definitely not one of those things. Like whenever someone says whatever political party they support, people assume the worst things they can come up with, and it's immediately like a deterrent. I definitely would not recommend talking politics with someone you're interested in at first. Like that's an immediate red flag. If there's things that are at the top of the red flag list, that's gonna be at the highest point, especially if y'all don't think the same. You gotta build that connection first or you're kind of f***ed off the jump. And in this last election, it's safe to say you had two people that couldn't be more far from each other.
Do not come. Do not come.
I'm gonna come.
I was
This is what I be saying, bro. This is so silly. Hillary lost to Trump. Kamala lost to Trump. Like, what the fuck? There's women. Where's the women? Plus, nobody wants a woman as a president. Even women don't want women as a woman as a president, and that's sad to say. A woman will go ahead and vote against her own rights, reproductive rights and all, just to not have a woman in office. But then again, like y'all seen the demographic it is that voted for Trump, so you know what I mean. It's not my issue, not my problem. As far as I'm concerned, for the next 4 years, and there was just like, Black women, we need this, and this. No, black woman not attendant. This black woman is asleep. This black woman is taking a nap. Why? Because she's tired. Not my issues. Y'all vote. Y'all know what y'all voted for. Y'all handle that. That's not my problem. That's not my issue. I got my own problems to worry about. You know what I mean?
Say for Gen Z women, if you took a random selection from the whole country, as in the United States, 8 out of 10 probably voted for Kamala this election. And for Gen Z men, 7 out of 10 probably voted for Trump. And because of how the election ended up, women started to—
I think just in the, well, let me say that. Let me say this. You know, I think as us as Black people, it is we were tired. We've been tired for quite some time. And like I said, like, and those anything it is moving forward within the next 4 years ain't our issues.
movement on TikTok because they weren't happy with it, called the 4B movement. It's a movement that started in South Korea with women to protest how the men were running the government. And the 4B stand for no marriage with men, no childbirth, no dating, and no sex with men. I'm happy to say that none of these things affected me anyways. Now, I'm not surprised something like this would happen, especially after this election. Whether you want to admit it or not, this election affects women way more than men. The fact that this is happening is just showing how much we're split as a generation, though. Now, whether the movement will go somewhere or not, I don't know. I feel like if you're a part of it, you probably weren't gonna like some dude that voted for Trump in the first place anyways. But hey, do whatever your heart's content. I don't give a I also think the thing that's been changing is since there's so many more opportunities to do things now when you're younger, people are holding off way longer before getting married or having a kid. Because
That's the major thing. That's the major thing at this point. Women, and especially from like our parents and our grandparents' generation, they didn't really have the same equal levels of like, one, to be able to leave the household, divorce the man, leave the household, and be able to survive on their own and stuff like that, let alone like how the kids is going to be. I hear this all the time. This is another debate that's spoken about. It's like, oh, why can't the love be like our grandparents? They stuck together for 20-something years. Yeah, because it is grandma couldn't leave. Where was she gonna go? Where was she gonna go? It was different times like that, like especially when it come down to like working, getting houses, and being able, you know what I'm saying? maybe if niggas would stop sleeping around. Yeah, that's another thing too. Like there will be men that will have a whole other family down the block from like the main family and shit. You know what I mean? It wasn't equally fair like that, especially like with my grandmother. You know what I'm saying? My grandmother couldn't leave. She didn't know anything about life outside of what my grandfather. Well, one of my grandmothers. I'm not gonna say which one. She didn't know anything of life outside of that. So now with the level of freedom of going ahead and do the things that she want to do, does she do it? No, that's not something it is that she thought that was going to happen for her. And I'm not mad at that because again, those were just not opportunities it is that was given to um uh I don't want is this baby? No, it's not baby booming. It's not baby booming. I can't remember what year she was born in. But I'm gonna say somewhere between either the 1940s or 50s. No, no, 40s. Definitely 40s. Either late 30s or 40s. You know. Hi, Han. How are you? Um, but yeah, I just at this rate, you know, like where they gonna go? You didn't have the same level of opportunities, you know?
Back in the good old days, the formula was simple. You graduated high school, got a decent job around the area, found someone you liked, and married them after 6 months and had a kid. I can't fathom that they were getting married right when they turned 18.
Barely. Because may I add, it is that, you know, that law to change that to where it is that they have to be married by 18 was still that I don't. Y'all could look up the actual year to when that actually became a thing. But yes, there was people it is not only they changed the curriculum of the age to when it is that people get married, you know, 18 and above, and how many and the levels of divorce. There were people within the 1930s, 40s, and even like historically speaking, there were women it is as soon as they got their period, they were already becoming mothers with their consent and without their consent. Historically speaking, we have to say that. And then levels of getting married. There was people it is that was married at like 14, 15, already had like kids and stuff like that. Like, you know what I mean? Like it's stuff like that. Y'all can look up these ages because you know what I mean? I don't want to go further into it because that's already a rabbit hole within itself. But yes, at this point in time now, we don't have to go ahead and to do that. First and foremost, dating itself, the dating pool got urine and dookie in there within itself. Everybody's trying to go ahead and get a come up off of the other person and whatnot. They're not being genuine about what their intentions are. And a lot of times it is that people are trying to get the benefits of what a relationship consists of without having to be in it. Why? Because they don't got a damn relationship with their own parent or parents to understand how to deal with the opposite sex anyway. So now you got all these people it is that they have these strained relationships with like their mother or their father. They grow up and then you're repeating the cycle of being in these toxic ass relationships and whatnot. You're not learning from them. You're making it worse. Then y'all go ahead and y'all create a child from it. And now the child reaps through all of those glorious benefits it is you just did at the end of the day. And you wonder why it is that dating sucks at this point in time. If anything, we need people it is that needs to go ahead and it's not just seek therapy, but you need to do the process of unlearning your habits. Figuring out it is like where did this stem from, and then learning to either accept where it is that you came from or learn how to unlearn those habits. And trust me, being in a household where it is you're until 18, that's damn near 2 decades. You're conditioned to be a certain way, but you don't realize it's a problem until it is you're outside. You done left the parents' house, or you done start like dating. You done start being in the real world and stuff like that, and then you realize it is, oh shit, what I've been conditioned to do is actually was wrong, or it was right, depending on what it is. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't realize that off rip. A lot of people don't realize that, let alone want to go ahead and do the groundwork. So you want to know what's easier? Going ahead and manipulating people and telling them it is like, oh yeah, like I love you, this, and this, like, oh, I want this, and this, blase, blase. You get all the benefits of a relationship, but at the end of the day, you are never in the mindset of wanting a relationship to begin with, but let alone marriage. Because y'all people it is that's married, y'all ain't safe neither. Because there's a lot of single married people out here too. Y'all think it is that being married is a level of like a success of just like, oh yeah, I'm better. I got the ring and stuff like that. That nigga don't even like you. That nigga don't even like you. You're parading around with your friends about being married and stuff like that. You don't even know the person is you dating. This is what it's come down to at this point. So this is where we're at. People don't want to go ahead and do the groundwork.
And somehow managed to stay married the longest. Nowadays, if you get married, a divorce is pretty much guaranteed. And people always talk about how the birth rate is declining and how no one's having kids. Except in Africa, they be popping out babies just for fun. I'm not even joking. The top 10 countries with the highest birth rates are all African countries. But I really think it's going down for 3 reasons. Number 1 being that no one can afford a kid anymore. The whole population is paycheck to paycheck, and is he
like, I don't want to say fuck the kids, but fuck the kids. There's people that can't afford themselves. Do you know how expensive groceries, gas, rent, the fucking light bill, bro? McDonald's. Why is it that I gotta pay fucking almost $4-5 for a McChicken? Those things was $1. Oh my god! I'm spending damn near 5-6 schmuckaroos, 5-6 doubloons to get a sandwich. I was better off going to a fucking corner store and getting this shit. Like, bro, everything is expensive at this point. Everything. Fuck. Everything, right. Everything's so damn pricey. Niggas need to choose their partners better. Yeah. Corner stores is hot. Yeah, that's another thing too. The fact that is like you got $5 at a corner store would get me a bacon, egg, and cheese, salt, pepper, ketchup, Arizona, and some chips, and I was only paying like $4.50 in high school. Now a bacon, egg, and cheese is $5. A chopped cheese is $5, $6, $7. I have words for people that is charging $10 or more for a fucking chopped cheese. Ooh, I got words for you. And it's in a different language. It's nice words. It's fruitful words. You know what I'm saying? It's just fancy enhancements. I promise. $10 or more for a. Let me not say it because I was about to start getting into it.
Even worse when you're younger. Unless they make houses $50,000 again and a new spanking car $20,000, then I'ma hold off on it. They will be held in the sack. It's hilarious too because every government in the world is begging their citizens now to have more kids. But then when you ask them for some type of assistance to raise the kid, they go, "Oh great, so you had the kid. Wait, you want help from us to raise the kid?"
Right.
Man, get the out of here. What did you think this was? Take your ugly ass baby with you. South Korea spent over $280 billion in 18 years to help with the problem, and it only went down even more. Another thing I hear people say is, why would they want to bring a kid into this cruel world? And I'm low-key with it too. We got enough problems to handle already, and it seems like they're not going to be done anytime soon. It seems like
I ain't even gonna cap. Like, it's rare. Like, it's South Korea, it is rare to see a pregnant woman. Rare. Now in China, because of the population is so damn high, they have that 2-child law. I think it may be even just getting down to 1 at this point. They don't play around with that. The one or 2, that's it. That's it. But even in Japan too, like the birth rate is starting to go down within like Asian countries. And I can understand that. I really do. I mean, I'm sure it is that they will probably have more of women's reproductive benefits, way more than what America got going on as of right now. If y'all see my Twitter, I went off about like how it is that I felt about it. But like, like it's just not an equally fair playing for us as of right now. So it even worse with this orange man about to be back in office, and you want us to have kids? Yeah, okay, cool. No.
like every day we on the brink of a new war starting somewhere. The people leading every country right now are crash outs. We don't know what's gonna happen. My offsprings are safer kept with me for now until all things are solved. And the last reason is younger people are just waiting longer to have kids, which I don't see as a problem. I never understood why they rushed you to have a kid as soon as you left
Don't say it.
high school in the good old days. You don't even know what you want to do in life, so how are you going to be able to teach a kid what to do in life? Some people end up perfectly fine with raising a kid and working their way up, but a lot of times they sacrifice themselves pretty much to give their kid a better life. Another thing that's abysmal for this generation is
it's so bad that like at this point now, us as women have to start thinking about what the next 4 years is gonna look like for us, and do we want to make the decision of wanting to have a child, get children, like, you know what I'm saying, involved with the economy, growing, raising them, and teaching them about what the stuff that's going on with the climate. It's just not. It's tough. It's tough for us. It really is. And it's not fun. Can we raise a child right? You can. I feel like it is. That's more so subjective. It's based off of what it is that you feel is the definition of right. Because what I think is being raised right and what you think is being raised right is maybe different. You know what I mean? Even though we come from similar backgrounds, so I'm sure it is. We have the same level of, you know what I mean, of backgrounds. But somebody else could able to raise their kid into being an asshole and thinking it is that's being raised right. So it really just all depends, you know?
Dating apps. Before, dating apps weren't really a need, it was more of an addition for people. But nowadays in Gen Z, you pretty much need one of these if you want to have any chance. And the male versus female experience on these couldn't be any different. The people who make these apps have literally monopolized love. As a dude, if you're not the best looking model to grace Earth, then you're gonna need to buy one of their subscriptions to get at least a little notice. Tinder is by far the worst at it from my experience. Like on Tinder, you can't even see who liked your profile unless you buy their subscription, and is literally pay to win. If you get their Tinder Platinum subscription, it will put you first before every other dude.
I don't use dating apps. I didn't even know that this was a thing. I mean, I knew about Tinder, but I didn't know, like, you gotta pay for a subscription for a dating app. Are you kidding me? Listen. I figured out early that like in 2014 that Tinder was a DTF app, and I said, "Oh hell no, get me off of this. I don't need a dating app to go ahead and talk to people. I'm a social ass person as it is. I don't need that shit." But like, this is what they do. Like that's. Oh my god.
So if you're just some regular schmegular dude who's average looking and doesn't have a subscription on these apps, you'll be lucky if you get a match a week, a match a month. And then when you do get that match, there's no guarantee she'll even respond to your ass. So you're throwing money at these companies for some coochie you probably not even gonna get. And then for the women's side, it's actually the opposite. They get so many matches, it's like, where do you even begin? I want every guy to watch a video on YouTube of someone catfishing as a girl. You could straight up look like Gorlock the Destroyer and you're still getting the max amount of likes. And a lot of times, even if it's not you, they just get the weirdest messages that throws them off.
Now that gotta be the most like spot on Black Widow I've ever seen. That's spot on. Damn, you did that, sis.
Times, even if it's not you, they just get the weirdest messages that throws them off. Like, I've seen my female friends who don't even have dating apps show me their DM requests. And
bro, I can go through my DM requested right now, bro. I had a whole nigga rar at me, bro, and then called me his chocolate milkshake. Do you know how it is that I felt when I seen that? Cause I be like, please believe, yes. I had somebody sing to me within the request. I've had people do unsolicited meat pics. I've had people go ahead and say this, what's your Cash App? I will send money right now. I've had all different levels. Play that audio. I can't do that. I can't. So this parasocial as fuck. Bro, man, the DM requests be nuts. And especially if I post something, let me post up a little picture when it is I'm feeling myself. It's worse. It is worse. Okay? It's bad enough it is I do content. And yes, for all you at home, it is that have reached out within my DMs. I've seen your request as well. I just want you to know it is that I saw it. Did I reply to it? No. Ask yourself what it is that you say, because normally it is, I don't mind, like even in my YouTube comments, I'm gonna chop it up with you. Ask yourself the question of what did you say that, like, It's the level of just like, oh, I just know this is gonna be the one. I just know she is gonna look at this message just to be like, oh my God, I gotta respond to him.
Man, I don't know who taught some of y'all riz. The solution to this is simply going up to someone in real life, but who the f wants to do that? Now, these apps can work, and I have friends that have met someone on them, but a lot of times it really won't work out, especially if you want someone long term. So yeah, to wrap it up, I actually want to end off with a positive message and a one-for-all solution to fix this. Annihilate every podcast in existence. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. As always, I love you guys consensually. And until next time, I'm out.
Hey, I agree. Take away all these damn podcasts. Let's start off with that. You know, check yourself, people on YouTube. It's not the YouTube comments. It is that be terrible. It's always the DMs. It's always the DMs. Hello, beautiful. Hi. What is it? Tommy, shout outs to you, gang. Thank you so much for the video. Shout outs to y'all in the chat. Shout outs to you at home. And I will catch y'all in the next video.
Oh, chosen trickster.